What's up, nerds? Welcome to DNA Pow Block, DNA's all Nintendo show. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, Edward Varnell.
Gotta get my coins.
And Kyle Waite. Team
Pokemon Sun and Moon are coming out this week. I'm so excited.
Yes! What?
Sorry, I had to do that. I'm so pumped.
Oh, boy. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. I know sometimes we say that and it ends up going longer than we expect, but this really
later
is going to be a short episode. Today we're going to talk about NVIDIA says people will be, quote, amazed by the technology Nintendo has put into the Nintendo Switch, and rumored price points are coming out everywhere these days, including Toys R Us's Canadian website and Games European website. So we're going to start with NVIDIA's praise on the Switch. The exact quote is, "Performance matters because games are built on great performance, but form factor and energy efficiency matter incredibly also because they want to build something that's portable and transformable. By working with Nintendo, this is a win-win." This is NVIDIA's CEO, Jin-Sung Hong, who has even doubled down on the console, saying the Switch console is groundbreaking, breathtaking design. So what do you guys think about all this praise coming from NVIDIA? I mean, I know Nintendo's contracted them to make console, but
my take on it is NVIDIA praises the technology inside the Switch. Newsflash, it is their technology inside the Switch. So they're pretty much saying, hey guys, we're awesome. And Nintendo's doing awesome stuff with what we made awesomely. I mean, I think it's an interesting press standpoint. And of course, NVIDIA is going to praise their own tech. But I like what he says about, it is impressive design because the Switch does look awesome. And I do like everything that I'm seeing about the Switch right now. And it is awesome that you can have a full-fledged console experience on the go with the Switch based on the technology that NVIDIA is putting into this. And, we know it's based off the NVIDIA Tegra chip and everything, but it's a modified version of that. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I just want the Switch out to be... I want the Switch to be out now so that I can see this thing in action. I can see really how powerful is this, how do the graphics stack up, and we know that graphics don't mean everything. I mean, the Nintendo 3DS has been outselling the Vita, 10 for 1 practically, not literally, but it's been outselling the Vita when the Vita technically is the superior machine, So it's the games that matter, and it's going to be interesting now that this is their console/handheld hybrid to see what market this falls into, and are we going to be comparing the Switch to the Xbox One and the PS4, or are we going to be comparing it to if Sony ever does another handheld, or are we going to be comparing it to both? Is it going to get the best of both worlds and the complaints of both worlds? It's going to be interesting to see. So I think it's funny how NVIDIA is praising their own tech in the system, but it's also, it's cool tech. So praise away.
Ed, what do you think?
Of course, I agree with Kyle that it's kind of an ego thing, a press thing. I really don't know why they had to say anything right now about it being impressive when we literally haven't got it into our hands yet. So they could say that it's impressive, and then I'm sorry, Nintendo, I love you, but I'm like, NVIDIA's tech might be janky when we get it into our hands. So I'll take this with a grain of salt. But Kyle, I have to have it next year because Xbox S is on the roll right now, and I don't want Nintendo to mess that up. I want Nintendo to be on the roll from March until Christmas time, selling.
I mean, Nintendo's going to be on a roll until that Scorpio comes out. That's all I'm saying.
we shall see.
I think it's interesting though too, and I don't want to take up too much time, Corey, because I know we're in a hurry. But Nintendo has been using Radeon, the AMD technology for I think that was since the GameCube. So it's interesting that they're going with NVIDIA this time around, and I'm not saying that's a bad move because NVIDIA certainly is impressive with the graphics cards that they put out for PC, and their mobile technology is very, very far improved from what used to be capable. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting that they jumped the ship from Radeon all the way over to NVIDIA. So
I'm actually surprised they didn't go with IBM though, because
I'm not because NVIDIA's been doing a lot of things with like their Shield console, the handheld tablet thing. So NVIDIA's been really pushing the portable gaming market space forward as far as like PC streaming to a tablet thing goes. So.
I think NVIDIA's technology has really been pushing that.
But IBM chips has been doing a lot. And that's why I say I'm surprised they didn't go with IBM for the chips and stuff. I mean, it makes
processing maybe. The thing is though, like I'm not going to pretend to know everything there is to know about PCs. There's tons of stuff I don't know. But as far as graphics go, I stick with NVIDIA. So I'm glad that Nintendo is going with NVIDIA for their graphics processing unit.
Well, yeah, I can see that. Probably that was the only. That was the best business deal they could actually make, and it probably would make sense that like if we go with them, it's guaranteed some sales because a lot of people probably trust NVIDIA. So they're just like, yeah, let's go with them. The only reason why I said IBM, I think it's because they've been making a lot of chips, and a lot of people have been kind of happy with IBM, like with them switching to their chips. But yeah, it's cool for NVIDIA, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Nintendo Switch is powered by a custom NVIDIA Tegra processor, which includes an ARM CPU and NVIDIA GPU. The latest report suggests that Switch GPU is about half as powerful as PS4, which is about 4 gigs of RAM. So that's kind of that bit of rumor, news, whatever you want to call that. But it's exciting. I'm just looking at the screenshot of the Switch. I'm just like, why can't I have this now? This is the only thing I ever wanted in my entire life.
Because everybody would complain that it's in competition, and they don't. And what happened with the NES Mini, they don't want to happen with the Switch.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me on that salt. Don't get me on that salt, Ed. I can't believe you.
I'm not trying to get you on the salt, but
I can't find anywhere. Can't find it anywhere. But we're going to move on and talk about there are some price rumors on Nintendo Switch. Toys R Us, a leaked Toys R Us Canada website screenshot has it priced at about $329.99 Canadian dollars, which is about $244 US dollars. And then Game had a leaked screenshot also saying that it was about 199 pounds, so which would also put it around $250 for a base model of the Switch, which is a lot cheaper than I originally anticipated this.
I mean, I agree with you there that it's a lot cheaper than I originally anticipated too, but that's because I was coming at it from this is Nintendo's console approach. The more I thought about it and the more I have thought about it, this is going to be Nintendo's handheld as well. And they have to, in my opinion, be able to market this as a handheld, even though it is still a console. Because if you see a $400 handheld device, oh yeah, it can plug into your TV too, but it's a handheld device. That could cause concern amongst more casual gamers. For me, I think my perfect fit price point for this, where I'm like, okay, this is the most that I'm going to want to spend on it, as far as the console itself goes, would be $300. But at the same time, I also was kind of in that thought of expecting to pay $350 for it at launch, But I'm much happier with the idea that it could be $200 to $250. So
and that's where I bet comes into play. I think it's going to be $349. I don't think it's not part of their handheld business, because Nintendo has said that they're not going to stop making games for 3DS, and the Switch is for console. I think the benefit of the system is that you could take it on the go, so it's still a console, and it even being on the go. Where the next iteration of their DS line, I believe, will be their next handheld.
I don't see that happening though.
Let's see, and that's where our bet comes in, and because I feel like, they want you to have that console experience on the go. That doesn't mean that was that system designed to be on the go. I think because you can't put your 3DS on your TV and then be like, well, this is the handheld, but it's also a console, because you can hook it up to the TV.
See, but here's my thought space. Like, yeah, sure, they're going to make 3DS games for a little bit longer until the system is kind of, quote unquote, okay, time to move on from it. But, like, if you have these two Nintendo technically handheld systems, because you can't bring this console with you, you've only got room for one of them in your bag or whatever, are you going to bring the powerful one that has every single game you want to play on it? Or are you going to bring the smaller one that can only play certain portableized versions of some of these games? If it's me and I have to pick between the Switch or the DS, because I can only bring one with me, I'm going to bring the Switch. And that's where I don't see them trying to put another handheld other than the Switch into play, because what's the point? Honestly, what is the point of another Nintendo handheld when you can use a Nintendo console as your handheld?
I think because for those on the go, definitely with some of the companies that develop for Nintendo, they make more of a profit on their handheld system than they do their console. If that was the case, that the portable, that the Switch was going to be profitable for all company, third party, Capcom wouldn't come out and say, well, we're kind of iffy. Capcom would have been like, okay, we're going to now make the next series of Monster Hunter definitely for Switch, because it's a good game to be on the go. Capcom is not thinking about that. Capcom know that they can make money off of Monster Hunter, because it makes money profitable for them on 3DS. So
I don't know. Corey knows that we could argue about this left and right, so I'm not trying to argue right here on this show.
I would really love to have a giant discussion about this someday, about like before January, when they make their
big announcement,
official big huge announcement about games and stuff.
Right.
But a couple interesting tidbits. Everybody's favorite Nintendo analyst, Michael Patcher,
goodness,
I know, says that at $350, Nintendo is dead in the water. However, he also points out that it could sell more than 10 million units in its first year if it costs $249, which is what this rumor is currently at, which is actually one of the nicer things he's ever said about Nintendo. This article I'm reading, it was on Wii U Daily, and it's now called Nintendo Today. It's just like this little fan-run site, but it's always got a lot of accurate information and stuff. But he's been right about a lot of things, even though a lot of Nintendo fans look down on his interesting points of view.
I was going to say his viewpoint is a little...
He could sit in a corner with a dunce cap. But
that 250 price point for me is like, holy crap, I can buy another game for this thing.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm at too. Like, I can buy another 2 games if it's $250.
I'm already putting away money for this thing. Like, I have a little envelope that says Switch on it, and I want a Pro controller, and I want Zelda, and I want a Switch. Those are the first things I want. Now, a rumor came out the other day that says Zelda's being pushed to June, which I don't know.
That would be sad.
I don't know how accurate that is, but they also said that Mario game is almost done. So, I mean, if it launched with Mario or Zelda, and then like a couple like deluxe Wii U ports, I'm like, woo.
No, I don't think they're gonna delay Zelda to June. I think it's ready for March.
here's another thought, and this could be completely off base, but the game cards for 3DS. A 3DS game costs $30 to $40 depending on the size of the game, pretty much. So Pokemon games, you expect to pay $40 out from the go. Monster Hunter, again, $40. I think Shin Megami Tensei 4 was $40, off the gate.
Mm-hmm.
These games, they are current generation games, but they are going to be on cards. Do we think that the games are going to still be $60, or
Yes.
are we going to get $50 versions on the Switch?
They're going to be $60.
Here's my. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
They're going to be $60 because if I'm not saying that these are going to be simple ports, but if they treat these games like they're doing for PS4 and Xbox One and put in a high budget on these games, they're going to try to get their money back. And if they sell well on the Switch, they might as well just charge the $60. Look at Mass Effect 3 when it came out for Wii U. They charged $60 for the game when it came out at launch, and the whole trilogy was already out for the same price. So they're not going to, just because it's on carts, they're not going to cheapen out on what the budget they have to put into the game. So they're going to charge the $60 for the system.
What I think is actually, I kind of think Nintendo is actually going to experiment with their price points. Maybe the Wii U ports are $50. Maybe their NX big or their Switch giant games like Zelda and Mario are going to be $60. But maybe they make a smaller thing like something along the lines of a Darksiders or a WarioWare game that could be $30 or $40, or in the style of a 3DS game to be $30 or $40. I think this is a good chance for Nintendo to experiment at different price points, because 3DS games are what, $30 and $40, and then you'll have your indie game, which are like between $10 and $20.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have your Pushmos and your Shovel Knights and stuff that'll be between $10 and $15. I think this is a good opportunity for Nintendo to experiment with their price points.
Well, I kind of would do it like how Microsoft is doing it. Like some of their budget first party games, like Recore, that was $40 when that came out, and it kind of a small indie, I say second party kind of game. Nintendo probably would do 50 or 60 depending on the price point. As for third party, I say if they're going to add a lot of new content for it, they'll charge the 60. But if it's a port of a game, I say 45 to $50 would be a good deal.
Yeah. And just they're updating games like Splatoon and Mario Kart, like $50 to get all that game plus the DLC plus their new enhancements. That's a great deal.
Yeah, I mean, I would go for that. But if they're doing anything like a completely new game, I think it'll still be $60 because of the budget what they're gonna have to spend to make this game. Plus, if Nvidia's graphic card is so powerful and it's the greatest tech on the thing, then the $60 got to be justified. I should say.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder. The one thing that concerns me is, I know that third parties have to spec these things for the lower end Xbox Ones and PS4s still. And I know that the Xbox One, the original Xbox One only has about 5 gigs of RAM dedicated to gaming, and the rest is like the voice commands and the UI and stuff like that. I don't know if that's changed or not, but that's what I read. The last time I read something, it was that. But I want to know if third party is going to be even try to port games over. Like, I wonder if something like Watch Dogs could even fit on a cart, or something like Final Fantasy 15 could even fit on a cart,
I think it can. We'll have to see how the compression is. And hopefully if this system can handle Unreal Tournament, handle Unreal Engine 4, then those games shouldn't be a problem fitting on it. My thing is what is going to be the loading. Because if the games could load faster than PS4 and Xbox One, and they don't have to really have an install thing, then yeah, it would be. And if they sell it at a cheaper price, I think that would be the game that people would get for that. I think people would probably buy the more Switch games than they will PS4 and Xbox One.
All right, catch me up to speed real quick, Corey. Are we saying yes, $50 on the price? Is that what you're thinking?
Well,
too?
What I said was I said that this would be a good time for Nintendo to experiment with pricing, like $60 for their mainline Switch games, $50 maybe for a Wii U port, $40 or $50 depending on what game it is and what enhancements they make. You're going to have your mid-tier games like the rumored Darksiders or Bayonetta, maybe $40 to $50 if they're making deals. Maybe Bayonetta 3 would be more like $60.
Yeah, that'd be 60.
But I mean, if you're going to port Bayonetta 2 over to Switch, maybe that would be $40. Then you have your indie tier, which would be between $10 and $30 depending on the size of the game. Right. And you have your virtual console. I think this is a good chance for Nintendo to experiment with pricing.
See, and my thought is though that like the game cards themselves, they're like what, 64 gigabytes? Is that what has been quote unquote confirmed?
I'm not 100% sure on the game cards.
I think it was like either 32 or 64 or something. But the thing is, my thought is Nintendo, if they want to be super competitive, if they want to get back into the eyes of the gamers, which is what that early commercial that they showed us looks like they're trying to do, is trying to show, hey, we're here for the gamer, and that's what they're trying to show again. If they do all of their third-party games, if they can convince third-party, hey, on your games, we would like to, MSRP, whatever the price thing is called, $50. I might buy a game on Switch over a game on Xbox or PS4 based on that saving me $10, and it's still going to be, I know, a quality experience because the Switch is powerful enough to handle it at a quality experience,
But third party gonna have to be committed into putting the stuff in.
That's the thing, is we need to see the third party support. We've seen some already that's been, here's all the partners that are going to work with Nintendo. The other thing too, though, is on PS4 and Xbox One, you have to install your game onto the hard drive if you buy it on disc just to play it. The loading times can still be pretty bad. On the Switch, the game cards, that's flash-based memory, which is going to load a lot faster than any kind of disc-based media or games that you save onto your systems unless you have installed a solid-state drive into your PS4 or warranty-voided your Xbox One S to put a solid-state drive in that. Because those are both, I think, 5,200 RPMs on the hard drives when you buy them from the store. So
that's kind of what I
based on the game cards, the loading time is going to be faster since they are game cards, and it's easier to it's not installing onto that, and they're smaller devices. Like I could see the Switch saying, "Hey, $50 for a game." I would love to see that because that would make them look competitive to just general consumers. It would make them competitive to the hardcore gamer, and sure, I'm still going to buy some games for my Xbox Scorpio when that comes out because I want to see the glorious 4K-ness. But for a game that feels like it would be better on the go, it's going to be bought on the Switch. And if that's going to save me another $10 on top of that, that is just, in my opinion, very smart and very aggressive marketing, honestly. It's like offering a system quality experience for $10 less and still being, for the most part, the same experience, minus a few, graphical shinies or whatever. Well, that sounds smart to me.
I hope the A-teams will train the B-teams because I think that's what's going to end up happening, is that the A-team at those developers are going to be working on PS4 and Xbox One, and the Switch is going to get the B-teams.
I think that where we're at right now in this generation of consoles, everything is going to have to be scalable because you've got the PS4, you've got the Xbox One, but then you've also got the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One S and soon the Scorpio, where you're going to have to make each of these games play on whatever version this person has. That being said, yes, they're different engines than PCs, but I could see them designing a lot of the games on PC and then doing the porting over to the other consoles just to make it easier for them to do the scaling. So that would make it easier then for them to also scale it to the Switch.
Yeah.
Plus,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add to Kyle's thing. Plus, like, instead of, I'm really glad that, like, you know, this is a one screen system, and the fact that, you know, maybe, Ed, like you said, we may be getting a B team from these studios, but I would rather them have a B team working on a game for Switch than, you know, the trouble they had to go through for hiring a separate studio to port their games to the Wii U.
Right.
But that's why I say I hope that A teams train the B teams, because the thing about it is that even though we're glad that all this third party is coming in, they're not going to give us the good third party. And they I think some of the third party are just going to still view the Switch as this is just some easy money for us to make.
See, I beg to differ, though, based on the comments that, like, specifically Ubisoft has been a huge advocate of the Switch, saying things like the technology is amazing, impressive, innovative. You know, if they're saying stuff like that, and I know that Ubisoft's been all about the, hey, go play the Raving Rabbids, Waggle Motion games, but the fact that there's developers out there, and even NVIDIA, saying that this is an amazingly impressive system, I mean... Well, I could see them getting on board with it really easily.
I hope that if they're going to work on the other two, I hope they work on all three systems for that one particular game, and not delay the Nintendo version 4 months down the line after it came out, and feel like that you're going to sell more on the other systems than the Switch. Like, I don't want that treatment of what they did with the Wii, because of their lack of not wanting to developing it, what they do to the Switch. If they are impressed by this technology and they stand by supporting the system, stand by it, learn the system ins and outs, improve on what you need to improve, and deliver just like you do the other two systems.
Well, and that's what, Corey, you were saying. This is one screen. And the reason that a lot of those Wii U games did get those delays is because the developers, one, didn't want to delay their game for the consoles that were quote-unquote making the most money, and two, they had to put extra thought and design into that second screen, even if only it was a menu or a map. They had to program that into it, and that did take time, debugging, testing, etc., etc. So the fact that this is one screen, the fact that based on, I don't know if you guys covered this, but based on the internals of what the Switch has, yes, it's going to have 4 gigs of memory instead of 8, which is what, you know, these current gen consoles we have now have. But the power of the NVIDIA Tegra chip in it is a little bit weaker from what I've heard than a launch Xbox One. So that's technically like a 900p strong, you know, graphical power, which that's great. And the fact that it's going to be on a 720p screen, it's going to be so much easier for them to be all like, yeah, we can put this on the system day one, because it isn't we're designing this extra feature for it. It is we are just porting it with the different button layouts and whatever else we need to do to make it work on this architecture. And sure, that might mean that the Switch version of a game might have a few less, you know, trees that are noticeable until they, you know, come in or whatever. It might have a little less field of view compared to the Xbox One or PS4 versions of games. But if they can put the game out the same day, the same time, and potentially, like I said earlier, for $10 cheaper, I think the Switch is going to be a very competitive and very, very enticing piece of technology for a lot of gamers that do want to take these console experiences on the go.
Yeah, as long as it runs fluid, because I think that hopefully they will run fluid. And just like you said, Kyle, if it's $10 cheaper, that's what I said. If there's not too much installation, if there's barely any loading times, the Switch version will be the version to get.
Well, I don't see why there would be any installation other than DLC, because it's only going to have, what was the rumor? 64 gigabytes built in, or 32 gigabytes built in memory. I don't think they've touched on that yet, but I don't know if there's going to be built-in like hard drive, or if you're going to be able to put. They said you can put an external micro SD card in, right? Yeah, they did say it. How much was that going to be?
Our micro SDs, I think, up to 256.
Yeah, so 256. I see that specifically for the people that are like me that want to buy games digitally, or for just the DLC that you're going to be able to get on these games. And if it's only 256, I don't see them installing the game card onto your potentially, it'll probably come with like a 16 or 32 gig micro SD card put into it from start, like the DS came with a 4 gig.
Do they make 256?
Yeah, they do. They make 1 terabyte micro SD cards now.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see them.
Yeah, so, the 512 one I was looking at the other day was a little over $100.
Okay,
but I don't know if it's going to be able to go that high.
Because I heard of
ones are about $60.
Because I heard of the 128 one.
They're about $60.
Yeah, $60. I'd pay $60 for a hard drive for my system.
I mean, you're paying more than that for a 64 gig memory card for Vita. So
right, exactly. You're paying like 3 times that. So I just
shoot, that's if you can find one.
Oh my gosh, nobody wants to talk about that. But I think we're going to wrap it up. Any final thoughts on the Switch price and if you think it's going to be good or?
I'm still sticking with $349. 300 would be good. I'll say. I really can't say about Canada and Europe because their pricing scheme is different, and who knows how they value the dollar. But $349 is what I'm saying. I'm going to go with. And I can't wait for March. I really just can't wait for March.
I know. I can't wait either, Kyle.
I mean, my price point was, I want it $300. If it's $350, I'll still buy it. But $250, that is amazing. And if it does come out at $250 or, $199, and then, I have to go buy myself a $60 256 gigabyte memory card, I'm okay with that. But I do want to, from the get-go, buy the Pro Controller, buy a handful of games, and get the most out of this thing that I can. I've already got about 400 saved up, put aside just for this. So the cheaper and more, affordable they make it, the more I can get out of it from the get-go, and that's just exciting to me. So,
yeah. I'm so excited for this thing. I can't stop staring at this screenshot of this Switch. I'm just like,
hoping that
it looks like a beautiful, sleek piece of technology.
It is.
Really like, it really, just everything I wanted the Wii U gamepad to be. But anyways, this is gonna wrap up DNA Pow Block. Remember, you can find the show on our YouTube channel every Wednesday, youtube.com/Digital Nerd Advocates Network. Like, subscribe, and share. Kyle, Team Nerd, go subscribe to Team Nerd. You can find Kyle at _ my name is Kyle on Twitter. You can find Ed everywhere. Really, literally everywhere.
He has transcendence.
He's on. He pops up on NGR Radio a lot. He writes a lot of blogs for the DNA Network. He's on Podcast Connected and does review stuff with Kyle at Team Nerd. So you can follow Ed at that retro code on Twitter. And you can follow me at Rogue Spartan 4 everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. And you can find my work on the DNA Network as well. So please like, subscribe, and share this show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the DNA Network YouTube channel. Ed, Kyle, thank you so much for joining me as always.
Thank you for having us.
It's a blast as always.
Until next week, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.